field, throwing the football to his 12-year-old football players. Now, coaching 12-year-olds is a little bit like herding cats. 12-year-olds have an attention span of about 15 seconds. And after about 5 seconds, it's like, oh, look at the kitty. But Big Al had a special gift for working with 12-year-olds. He'd take the football, look at one of them and say, go long. Red 25, red 25. And he'd cock his arm back and he'd let that ball sail. In the meantime, us little 12-year-olds are running down the field as quickly as we can. And Big Al always threw the ball so that we had to dive for it. Now, diving for the football and coming up with a mouthful of grass and dirt was not a lot of fun. But every time we did a great catch, Big Al was like, woohoo, yes! We love that attention. We crave that attention. We'd kill ourselves diving for the ball just to get that attention. We'd even dive for balls we didn't need to dive for, just to get attention. Imagine playing for a coach who never yelled at you. He'd say, Brian, quick, you should have caught that ball. Get down and do 10 push-ups. And I'd do my 10 push-ups. This had a wonderful psychological effect. The coach isn't yelling at me. I'm training myself not to make mistakes, and I'm building up my body. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters. Did you ever have a Big Al in your life? Did you ever have a teacher, leader, or coach who saw the potential in you and tried to bring that out? Big Al was 5'6", my height, 240 pounds of solid muscle, and he looked like a big teddy bear. After taking the ball and throwing it to us, he would tuck it underneath his arms and run around in circles on the field. And us 12-year-olds would all try to tackle him. And he'd have 2 on one leg, 2 on the other leg, and he'd be dragging us on the field. Big Al was the big brother all of us 12-year-olds dreamed about. Who was the Big Al in your life? Who was the teacher, leader, or coach who knew that to get the very best out of you, they had to make it fun? Coach Big Al brought out the very best in all of us. And it wasn't long before we were heading towards the championships. And that game was intense. First we'd score, then they'd score, then we'd score, and they'd score. Back and forth the whole game through. And with 2 minutes remaining in the game, we were ahead by 2 points. I found myself the lone defender between their running back with the ball and our end zone. I put my head down and I started running as fast as I could. He put his head down and he started running towards me. Suddenly I have this internal dialogue going on in my head. It's like I have a devil on one side and the angel on the other. Bing, devil. Brian, man, did you see the size of that guy? He's like 6 foot tall and he's hairy too, man. He looks like King Kong. Go down, go down. Bing, angel. Oh no, Brian, you can do this. Hang in there. Plow, he plowed over me into the end zone, putting their team in the lead. I was so ashamed. Coach Big Al never yelled at me. He just said, Atkins, sit this one out. I hung my head as I walked over to the bench, and there was my best friend, Scott Markell. He had no trouble at all yelling at me. Brian, dude, what are you doing? We had the lead. You let them get in the lead. What are you doing, man? I so badly wanted to go back in there and make up for my mistake. But I figured after that mistake, they're never going to put me back in. But sure enough, they scored the point after, and Big Al said, Atkins, get back in there. Let's see what you can do. And they put me back deep on the return team. And I'm like, I've never done this before. This isn't the time to trust things out, guys. This is an important game, an important play. The other team, upon seeing this, kicked the ball straight to me, and I caught it. And I began running, and I remember looking over at my right at the big 6 foot tall Michael Yu, the big 12-year-old, with a look of sheer determination on his face. And as I continued to run, what I saw blew my mind. Each and every kid on our team pouring their hearts into the play, trying to get us in the lead. And they opened a hole you could have driven a tank through. Now, I wish I could tell you that I ran that back for a touchdown, but I didn't. I ran it back just far enough to get us back into scoring position, just far enough for me to regain my self-esteem and self-worth, which at that point needed it so badly. And isn't that what a great teacher, leader, or coach does? They look around for opportunities for you to excel, and they push you up and encourage you forward, and you get knocked down. And they pick you back up and they push you back out there, and you get knocked down. And you continue to do this over and over until you begin to see the potential that is within you. And you have a breakthrough. And when a teacher, leader, or coach shows you the potential that is within you, you'll remember that person for the rest of your life. It's been 48 years since I played for Big Al, and it seems like it was yesterday. I will never forget Big Al. He changed my life. Who was the Big Al in your life? Master Toastmaster.
All right, Jim, 90 seconds, please. And Patty, give me the signal.